must know that this is the most cool and the most hot and all at the same time tech show in the Bay Area. And I have the distinct pleasure of introducing Dr. Sam once again, who's the founder and CEO of Strategism Inc. Strategism Inc. के बारे में मैं आपको बता दूं, they have online in-class training, they have consulting, they basically deal with the cutting edge technologies. Of course, it's all about AI these days, but you can actually master AI, ML, cybersecurity, all with strategism. You have, if you want to train in PMP exams, then also they have a lot of guidance in place. But let's now welcome Dr. Sam. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm excited. Thanks for having me. It's a beautiful day, and I hope our listeners are really enjoying the drive back home.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure they are. So, Dr. Sam, if I may ask you, what's the latest and greatest on your mind today when it comes to tech?
Latest and greatest on my mind is the most happening field of AI. When people are making so much money, and a lot of people that I talk to in the Silicon Valley, they say, I lost my job or I'm going to lose one. I see on the one hand, people are getting paid $200 million, and on the other hand, people are saying they're losing jobs. So, what is the disconnect? Disconnect is there's a knowledge gap that needs to be filled. And of course, you can also make money if you fill the gap.
Yeah, of course, knowledge gap and and of course, we can't thank you enough, Dr. Sam, because you help, people, you help the youth, the early to mid career, and also sometimes when, they are in an advanced stage of their career, but they don't know where to start. You have helped them so many times. So मैं अपने listeners को फिर से बता दूं that if you want to contact Strategism directly, the number to dial is 408-372-7275. You can also email them at training@strategisminc.com. And the website, of course, is www.strategisminc.com. एंड नाउ मैं आपको ये भी बताना चाहती हूँ कि अगर आप हमारे रेडियो स्टेशन पे डायरेक्टली कॉल करना चाहते हैं, द नंबर टू डायल इज़ 510-770-1550. Once again, the number is 510-770-1550. And if you do so, you will get to hear directly from the horse's mouth.
Calling Dr. Sam.
Okay, Dr. Sam, while we wait for callers to dial in, of course, the most interesting thing about this show is the spotlight on a techie of the week. तो आज आपने already सोच लिया है कि techie of the week कौन होने वाला है?
Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO
Mark
of Meta.
Mark Zuckerberg, an equally celebrated and controversial figure, is the techie of the week.
Techie of the week. Techie of the week. Spotlight.
Awesome. Okay, so spotlight on Mark Zuckerberg. तो पहले तो ये बताइए डॉक्टर सैम की why क्यों why is Mark Zuckerberg the chosen one for today, and what makes him your techie of the week?
I believe, Rashni, the biggest asset of a techie is the ability to reinvent. And I bought actually Facebook stocks when they went IPO 2012, 2014, I forgot. And right after IPO, it came down from $40 to $18. And then I've seen this roller coaster for the company so many times. And I saw that 2023, right after the federal government started working on the interest rates, and he was struggling on this meta thing and virtual reality and augmented reality. And my stock went down from 380 to $80. But today, if you see, it is back to 770.
Yeah, it's booming.
To
No
10 times.
slowing down.
Why? And
Yeah.
because the ability to reinvent. So he's reinventing continuously and aligning his goals with what Google is doing, with OpenAI is doing, with Microsoft is doing. And that's what is the purpose of this show, to talk about super intelligence, you know, and the next level of growth. And all our techies have to think like that. But in the Silicon Valley, everybody has to sell their skills, which are in demand. What you knew yesterday is gone. What you know today will be gone tomorrow. But are you willing to learn that for tomorrow so that you can have a future? Do you have the capability and competence and the desire and the risk-taking ability? Because if he cannot survive, he has to reinvent. We also have to reinvent.
Right. So let me remind my listeners, if you're dialing in right now, Techie of the Week is none other than Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg. और speaking of numbers, जैसे कि डॉक्टर सैम ने कहा कि उनका आईपीओ जो है वो $90 स्टॉक से 77 डॉलर्स तक पहुंच गया in just 2 years. But what is it, Dr. Sam, the latest from Meta that you're talking about that he's reinventing and the company is reinventing, looking towards the future? But what is the latest from Meta that is putting it at a higher pedestal than all the other companies out there?
Excellent question, Roshni. And I think in one word, it is the super intelligence, especially the personal super intelligence, which is the smart glasses, right? If you look at the notion is that it is going to replace iPhone. So if you use a desktop like in a MacBook or an iPhone or an iPad or a wearable smartwatch, all that will be gone because everything will be sitting in your glasses. Actually, Google did this experiment 10
Google
years ago.
Glass. I remember Google Glass, and it
Yeah,
did not take off.
yeah.
So,
So I
what is it
had it
going to be
actually.
different?
And one of my students actually gifted me. It was $1,500 at that time. But now you can buy a Ray-Ban smart glass for 350 bucks for one. And that's what I'm talking about. It's called personal super intelligence. And it can talk in any language. For example, if you talk to one person and who only knows Mandarin and you know English, so you ask a question in English using your glass, right? And say it'll translate that. Of course, Google Translate has been there into Mandarin, and then Mandarin guy will speak in Mandarin, and you will get the answer in English. So that is the speech side of it, and the image side. You look at a tree and say, "Hey, what is this tree?" It'll tell you the name of the tree is this. It is 5,000 years old, and blah blah. So it'll give you the history. So whatever you see, whatever you speak, can be done through the glasses. Isn't that amazing? And imagine WhatsApp, Facebook, Insta, the entire ecosystem is coming on the Ray-Ban smart glasses. And they're also using the Llama AI to integrate the AI piece of it. And they're coming out with two new glasses, which is the Aperol and Bellini, which are going to really transform the scape of smart glasses. So everything will be on the smart glasses, and iPhone will be gone. So in simple words, they're giving Apple a big run for their money, and that's what I think Mark Zuckerberg is the techie of the week. What do
Mm,
you think?
I think that's great. But also, मेरा ये question है, Dr. Sam, like Meta tends to get it right a lot, even if they are not the first in the market with ideas. So even if the ideas are not necessarily novel, or like but they tend to get it right. Like I remember, अभी Google Glass की बात कर रहे हैं, sorry हम Meta के glasses की बात कर रहे हैं, लेकिन Google Glass came earlier, right? And it didn't take off, even though the idea the proposition, everything was there. And similar to अगर मैं Google का एक और example लूँ, Google Wallet came before everything, but then Apple Pay became the bigger thing. So why does this kind of thing keep happening? Like even you would think that अगर idea मेरे पास सबसे पहले आया and मेरे पास equally capable engineers है, team है, then what is that key distinction that makes one company more successful than the others, all else being equal?
That's an excellent question, Roshni. And my 2 cents are that it is the ability to fight. And even not only talking Google Glass versus the Meta Glass, आप किसी भी चीज में देख लो, even in the AI field, Google was the pioneer,
Right.
right? Google, those 7 guys, 8 guys, they wrote the paper, Transformers in 2017. Now all 8 of them left Google. Why? And Google has the money also, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's not the money problem, it's not the talent problem. It is the timing problem, and it is the scaling problem. How quickly you are able to scale, because there's a constant fight, there's a constant competition, right? It's a dynamic world. Everybody's fighting right now. OpenAI, Microsoft, Facebook, Amazon, all these companies are fighting. Anthropic in the AI space, and every day something new is coming out. So the point is that, are you really fighting the battle every day? When you wake up in the morning, are you ready to fight it today? And if yes, you will survive. And this is a testimony that despite that Meta being behind in the AI race, is now in the top 3 or 4 companies, and the Meta valuation is around $2 trillion,
Yeah.
right? So OpenAI is one which is going high, and Nvidia on the chip side. But on the LLM side and on the AI adoption side, Meta is positioning itself as the AI glass company, which is probably more visionary than Apple or OpenAI.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the same with going back to Google again, the same with their cars, right? Self-driving cars, they were way ahead of the game. They had the first, prototype, and they were training, and the only reason they were not going all out in the public domain or having, public actually use their cars was because they were saying like we want it to be very, very safe because, that is crucial, right, for driving and for cars. But then again, they're not there yet, and other companies are. So thank you for touching on that. I think that ability and the willingness to fight, and also the timing, I think is a great
Also,
point.
Dr. I'd like to interrupt here. The thing is that Google is not behind in driverless cars. Waymo is more successful in Tesla today. In simple words, Tesla created the driverless car model, and they came up with their tool and their software, but they got a little behind. So even though it was their dream and their vision, and they had the know-how and the capital and the talent, they got behind and Waymo took the lead. That's why Robotaxi and Tesla got back into the game. And they're still, I mean, San Francisco, if you go, you can take a Google car, which is owned, I mean, Waymo is a
Yeah.
Google company. So they're
Hmm.
actually ahead in the game of driverless cars.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yet when we think of self-driving, with Tesla, of course, is the more populist, if not popular, name that comes to the mind because people are buying. But I totally get what you're saying. But yeah, I do think that again, like timing and the willingness to see it to completion and see it to market is a big part, and looks like Meta is doing it really, really well. So Dr. Sam, next question is like, what is like the latest tech that's hiring that pays a lot because people want a lot of money? Let's say, is there any tech that's paying more than what Ronaldo would be earning?
Absolutely. See, Ronaldo, this Real Madrid, the big company, right? Which they hired him for $80 million and they stole him from the opposite. And it was like the big thing because this guy's a global phenomena, right? But on the other hand, Meta, in order to create their super intelligence team, hires a guy at $100 million. There's not one, there are like 10 of them they have built on the basis of these super smart engineers. For example, Jiahui Hai, he's a ex OpenAI guy, Chat GPT co-creator, Shengye Zhao. So these are people who are getting $100 million more than what Ronaldo would make. So that is what he has done. He has poached, and that's the piece. So although driverless car was a Tesla idea, but Google stole the show. Likewise, this guy Mark Zuckerberg is trying to steal the show from Google and OpenAI and Microsoft. And he lost the race actually after the augmented reality. But last 6 months he said, "Oh, I'm going to do it." He actually is on the factory right now and working whole day, morning to night, to create the high super intelligence team. So that's why I think that the techies getting $200 million, it was unbelievable and unthinkable a few years ago. And that's a message for all our techies in the Bay Area, in the Valley, and all over the world that, hey, there is something that they can also learn and get into the same space.
ये जो पोचिंग का प्रॉब्लम है, ये तो साइंस की फील्ड में बहुत सालों से, इट्स एन एज ओल्ड थिंग, राइट? इट्स लाइक इवन इफ यू गो बैक टू इलेक्ट्रिसिटी, राइट, एंड वी गो बैक टू थॉमस एडिसन, who was championing DC current at that time, and Tesla, Nikola Tesla was advertising or championing AC, right? But we all know Edison as the father of electricity and all of that. But so anyway, just I had to throw it in
Yeah,
out there
absolutely.
because
It could be your invention, but somebody else will make money. So
yeah,
Tesla
exactly.
versus Edison, Wright brothers made the aircraft, but somebody else, they were never rich.
Yeah.
Somebody else made the money.
Yeah, yeah. And McDonald's wasn't like the people that run it actually bought McDonald's from somebody. It was not their idea, but they made it into a chain, and
Yeah.
that's how मैकडोनल्ड्स इज मैकडोनल्ड्स एनीवे सो डॉक्टर साहब ये बताइए कि इतना पैसा तो आई नो मेटा इज वेरी रिच एंड दे हैव वेरी डीप पॉकेट्स बट दे आर स्पेंडिंग वे टू मच इन बिल्डिंग एआई इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर व्हाई डू यू थिंक दे आर डूइंग दैट
See, the race all about LLMs, right? So who can have a larger language model, right? In order to do that, Roshni, you need to spend a lot of money on data centers and servers. And now the thought is that electricity may not be able to give that, so we need nuclear energy. So nuclear, and you're seeing that companies, they have MP Material, one company. There's so many companies who are investing in electricity. So Meta is actually have $70 billion capex to compete with Google and uh, Microsoft because they are very big in the server space. And if you know, Oracle, Larry Ellison actually became the second richest just because he invested a lot of money in computing power. So it is all about the computing power. The bigger the computing power you have, the more successful models you can run and train and then make money out of it. So it is all about bigger computing power and higher centers and spending a lot of capex money on the AI side.
Yeah, absolutely. So, one of the thing, in software, I mean, ये तो hardware की बात हो गई, लेकिन software में भी, one of the big talent pool is in the developer community, right? So, how do you think Meta is trying to engage the developer community? Like, GitHub, for example, does, Microsoft does it. So, how do you think Meta is going to do that, or are they
Meta
already
has done
doing
a
it?
great job, Roshni, and what they've done is they've got this Code Compose, which is an AI assistant, and it is actually being used by 16,000 engineers right now, and it can work across multiple platforms. It can work across multiple languages. So it has actually contributing about 8% of the production code. So a lot of work being done to keep the developer community engaged and excited about their, innovation.
Yeah, yeah. That is I think a great idea because who knows where innovation comes from? It might come from outside, but if you keep engaging them, again, you can poach those. Anyway, so Dr. Sam, what is Meta doing on the LLM model building, the building the LLM model itself that is perhaps different from what others are doing?
Absolutely. See, Chat GPT, we know everybody knows OpenAI, right? And then we know Gemini from Google and Microsoft Copilot and all that. But the meta version is Llama 4, the latest one, which is
Mm-hmm.
open source, right? And what it does, it uses the MOE, which is the mixture of expert architecture. If you remember January, when one day the stock market lost $1 trillion because there was a company in China, DeepSeek, they use the same architecture. They are MOE based mixture of architects and they're open source. So the Llama 4 is the same thing. It is multimodal in the sense, it works across text and image, 12 languages, and they have three versions that are working to scale it. Scout, which can actually have 17 billion parameters and 10 billion tokens. That is like a silver. If you think credit card, right? Silver, gold, platinum. The gold is actually much bigger. Maverick, which is 400 billion parameters. And they are still working on something called Behemoth, which is so fantastic, Lashini, that 2 trillion parameters are there in Behemoth, which means you
Wow.
can such sophisticated models on it and train them and create better results. And that reminds me of the last time we had this question, data will be capped as Elon Musk said. No, if the data will be capped, how would you use a behemoth? So behemoth will be working on 2 trillion parameters. Isn't it amazing?
Absolutely. That's amazing. I mean, this is just getting it, behemoth. It suits the name absolutely. So, so would you then agree, Dr. Sam, that Meta is giving Google a run for its money in competing for advertising, Google Ads, SEO, and PPC markets?
Absolutely. And think about it, I do a lot of advertising in my business and all my marketing agency says, hey, just don't put all your money in PPC and SEO. If you also diversify and have Meta, then you can also have a higher return on your advertising spend, ROS, and it demonstrates that 22% higher returns, 5% more conversions using the GEM, which is the generative recommendation engine from Meta. And actually, what it does is, which is really exciting, Roshni, is that it takes static images and creates a video out of it.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, and that's why last time we talked about a little bit about how AI is going to or already is disrupting the entertainment industry. लेकिन वक्त हमारे पास थोड़ा सा कम है डॉक्टर सैम जाते जाते आप प्लीज मेरे listeners को बताइए कि how can strategism and you actually help our listeners who want to get into tech, or maybe they're already techies but they want to get into the more cutting edge technologies, and what kind of training, certification, resume, interview preparation, and marketing that you have in house.
Yeah, I mean, if you got laid off, or if you have a fear that you get laid off, or if you're not in the IT, you want to get into the IT. So, friends, everybody and anybody can learn AI and become an AI side consultant or a cybersecurity or a cloud consultant and get certified. So, we as a company help people get trained, get certified, and get your resume ready, and then mock you up with the resume, and then start marketing you to our clients, and you can work on projects and put that on your resume so that you can showcase experience of 6 months at least of working on real life projects. So we help you get certified in Microsoft, AWS, Google, and we help you find a job. That's where it differentiates us from the other people. And we also provide you production support. So if you are lacking at work, we can come by and help you. Much like Chat GPT will help you, and you can ask a question, you can ask us, and we are there for you.
Awesome. And what is sweeter to the ears than, helping somebody find a job? That's like music to the ears because of the current state of the industry. फिर से जाने से पहले एक बार याद दिला दूं कि अगर आप डॉक्टर सैम से कांटेक्ट करना चाहते हैं and his institute, you can contact him. Email address is contact@strategisminc.com. Website is www.strategisminc.com. The number to dial is 408-372-7275. And with that, thank you so much, Dr. Sam, for joining us today. We'll see you once again Tuesday, 3:30 ko only on Radio Zindagi.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks, listeners. Thanks, Roshni. And I enjoy it and have a good day and see you next week. And be excited, keep learning, and keep reinventing.
Absolutely. See ya. Bye bye.